friends, so today is a tutorial on the look that I'm wearing right here. I used a variety of products. I shopped my stash. I used some stuff that is new to my collection, but something bright and spring feeling. So I hope that you enjoy. The day that I'm actually filming this on is Easter. That's why I have that on my mind. But yes, I hope that you enjoyed. If you'd like to see how I created this bright, colorful look, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay guys, so I have already done my skincare. Now for some primer. I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I'm just going to work that into the skin all over. I'm going to use my Bite Rose Pearl Prismatic Multi-Stick. Put this all over the eyelid. This is going to act as my sort of primer. I'm just going to use my finger and dab this out, especially along the edges. I'm going to take my other little cream stick, the Marc Jacobs Twinkle Pop. I'm going to put that on the inner third. It's a little bit lighter. It's this lavender gray. I'm going to bring that into the inner corner as well. I'm going to take my Marc Jacobs, this one is called their Highliner Gel in Blacker. I'm going to tight line, and I'm going to run this on the lash line as well, and in the waterline. Now I'm taking my Viseart Siren palette, and I'm going to go into this lightest shade with my Wayne Goss number 18. I'm going to bring that right underneath the brow bone. I'm going to bring this along the edges, all the way around the eye, just very lightly to start to shape the eye look. Now with this mid-tone matte, I'm going to place that right on the center of the crease, a little bit above my natural crease. It depends on your eye shape. And just lightly sweep back and forth, starting to really smooth out the contours of the eye. We go back into the lightest shade and blend out the edges of that a little bit more. Now with Pat McGrath Levian Rose, I'm going to start by taking the Paranormal Matte Purple shade with the same brush. I'm going to start to create that elongated eye shape, starting right in the outer third and right underneath the eye, and sweeping up towards the end of my brow and back in, like how you would a wing, but we're building with shadows. So again, jumping back and forth between both eyes just to make sure they're both at the same point all the time, so that we're not leaving one eye behind and then trying to play catch up, because that can be hard to keep things symmetrical. Almost as soon as I lay something down on one eye, I jump to the other to catch it up. With the mid-tone Viseart shade, I'm going back and sweeping that on the upper edge, blending the shadow out with that Viseart. Going back to the Pat McGrath purple. Now I'm going to take Purple Rain, this one here. I'm going to really start to electrify this area. I'm jumping back to the mid-tone Viseart shade, matte. Just sweeping that on the mid section of the crease. Actually, it's a lot higher than the crease, but you know what I mean, like up in here, to blend those shades together. Pretty, right? And the Bite multi-stick is still shining through, like that beautiful shimmer. Gorgeousness. Okay, I'm actually going to take more of the Purple Rain, actually with a smaller brush, my Wayne Goss number 19. I'm going to take Purple Rain and pat that right on the inner third of the lid. For the center of the lid, I'm going in here with my finger. This is Pale Fire. And I'm going to tap that right on to the center. I'm going to blend the edges. I'm going to take a tiny bit of Gold Nectar, this guy over here, with my finger again, and tap that right on top, just to give it a little bit more pop. I really want a little bit more sparkle, so I'm taking my Makeup Forever Starlit eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to go into this Flicker shade over here. It looks a lot like the Bite Multi-Stick. I'm going to tap that right on top too, just to give it a multi-dimensional shimmer again, and taking more of the Marc Jacobs Twinkle Pop and reapplying that in the inner corner. I'm going to layer just a little bit of the Bite Multi-Stick right on top of that. I'm going to blend those together. I'm taking my Natasha Denona shadow in the shade Tropic and my Wayne Goss number 8 detailer brush. We're going to build this up onto the lash line on the bottom. Again, just use whatever palettes and shades you have. I was just looking for the specific color, so that's why I grabbed this one. I'm going to mix a little bit of this shade from her Holiday palette, Natasha Denona's Holiday palette, and just layer that right on top. I'm going to blend those together. This is my e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. I'm not worrying about fallout, we'll clean that all up. I'm just wiping away the fallout. I'm taking a little bit of Makeup Geek Corrupt, which is a matte black, and deepening this outer V. We want to create some nice darks and lights, not just contrasting color, but in depth as well. Take a little bit and bring that right on the inner third. This is my Wayne Goss number 18, but a smaller brush would probably be even better. Okay, and then finally, with a small Wayne Goss number 19 brush and a matte vibrant purple. This one is Nina's Orchid, I believe it's called, from Natasha Denona. But a matte purple would be perfect, that one that's vibrant. And I'm going to blend the bottom edge of the turquoise and connect it to the upper eye wing. I really want it to hug and blend into that turquoise without covering it. I'm just overlapping the turquoise ever so slightly. I'm going to take my Stila Micro Tip Stay All Day liner. It has a smaller tip than the normal. Let me show you the normal so you can see the difference. I'm going to use the little tipped one. the one on the bottom here, because I feel like that's gonna really help keep the wing from going too crazy, because we want this eye look to really shine through. But I think a liner will complete the look. Hugging the lash line really close. Okay, I'm going to throw on some mascara and some falsies. I'm going to use my Magnetic Ardell accent falsies as usual in the style 202. Those are a little bit more dramatic, so I think that they'll go really well with this look. These are the Magnetic number 2 accent Ardell lashes. They just pop in place just like that. Top, bottom, done. Okay, so for complexion, I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Snow. I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs The Face number 2 brush. This is the first time I'm using this brush. Oh my gosh, what a nice brush. No streaking, so soft. Really easy to build coverage. Oh, so nice. The shape makes it really easy too, because it's tapered. It's like just a very natural brush. Oh, I'm obsessed. This is my first Marc Jacobs brush. So, so nice. Right underneath the eyes, I'm going to carefully take my favorite, the Becca Under Eye Brightening Color Corrector, and use a little bit of this to brighten. Whenever you work around the lower lash line, you want to be really careful. Like if you've already done your lower lash line eyeshadow and you're trying to put on concealer, you just want to start a little bit lower and blend upwards into the eyeshadow. I'm going to use a tad of my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I need a little more coverage on the chin, a little bit more on the nose and the cheeks. I'm going to use a little bit of my Becca Hydra Mist powder. This guy is supposed to feel like a hydrating mist, like a setting spray, and a setting powder in one. So I'm going to take my little fluffy brush. This is a tulip shaped brush I normally use for highlighting. It's actually meant for painting, but I'm just going to take a little bit of the powder and sweep that underneath the eyes right where I have that concealer to keep anything from creasing, and also to blend the concealer and eyeshadows together and create a soft edge. This does a really nice job for that. I'm going to take a little bit right around the nose where I have large pores and sometimes some settling, and right between the brows to smooth. I literally use the tiniest bit and it's plenty for my dry skin. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with some blush and bronzer. This guy is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Ombre Blush from my friend Charlie. She gave this to me. And with a big fluffy brush, this is the Chikuhodo GSN1. I'm going to take a little bit and put that right on the apples of my cheeks. This is a very sheer, very faint blush, which makes it easy to not overdo it, which I appreciate. Again, with the brush that I used for my setting powder, this is again meant for painting. I'm going to go into this blush, and any smaller powder brush will do. I'm going to sweep that underneath the eyes, at the tops of the cheekbones, to bring down the color a little bit more on the tops of the cheekbones as a connection to the eye look. Bring a little bit on my nose as well. This is so faint that just gives the slightest hint and looks so pretty in person. For bronzer, I'm going to use my recent favorite, the Capri Coast from Becca. And with the same brush, any small powder brush, I'm going to bring that actually on the tops of the cheekbones, closer to the temple. Not contouring with it. I'm going to do more of a sun-kissed glow. So the tops of the cheeks, right along the nose, the bridge of the nose. Just very lightly to give the appearance of having gotten a little bit of sun. It's really so natural and lovely. Okay, so for the brows, I don't want to do anything dark. So I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift 3-way shape lift and shade tool. It's like a little brow pencil. And I'm going to lightly fill in my sparse areas and tint the overall shape of my brows. I want to keep everything light and natural, but just clean up. Give a little bit of definition and even out the brows because my brows are patchy. And I'm just going to take a little bit of tinted gel. This is from L'Oreal. It has little fibers in it too to make the actual brow hairs look thicker, and it just is a very natural looking brow product. And it also helps keep the brow hairs in place. I tend to like to lift the outer half of my brow hairs because they tend to droop down, down, down. Okay, you guys, we are well on our way. I am going to just throw on a lip, use a little bit of setting spray. I think for lip, I'm going to try out this new Urban Decay lip gloss. It's the shade Back Talk. Looks like a really pretty mauve. Oh, it's pretty sheer. Why do my lips feel so dry? This gloss is a little bit minty. A little thick and a little sticky. Not too bad, but definitely a little sticky. Okay, so that's the natural lip color on. I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs Recover Perfecting Coconut Setting Mist. This one you have to really press the nozzle down completely to get a fine, even spray. Alright, love bugs, so that is the final look. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you are new, definitely subscribe to stick around and join my Cake Face family. We would love to have you. And if you are a returning friend, thank you so much for coming back. I love you lots, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.